Hi, today I'd like to go over 4 tips that can help with the volley. Now, obviously there's a lot that goes into this shot, but over the years I've found that these 4 areas can really make a huge difference. So let's take a look. Number 1 is that everything starts with the ready position. It's important to keep the racket away from the body and roughly head high. And this is going to allow us to get that racket in the correct position to hit a good volley. What oftentimes happens is that players will hold that racket too low for their ready position, or they'll keep the racket too close to their body. And what's going to happen is it's going to add extra movement. Going from this position to this position simply takes way too long. The reality is that you may be able to get away with this with these bad habits when you're playing somebody who doesn't hit it very hard. You can get away with a lot more, but as you play better players, as the speed increases, you're not going to be able to get away with it. Those little flaws will get exposed. So it's important to keep the racket out in front to where all we have to do is just a quick turn of the racket head face and we're in a position to hit that volley. To add on to that, we want to make sure we keep the racket out in front as we're making contact with the ball. One of the most common mistakes that people make is that they swing at the volley. And this is a problem for a couple reasons. Number 1 is that when you pull that racket back and you swing through it, it's really hard to time. When you're playing good players and if that speed is pretty fast, it's going to be too hard to time. And you may be able to hit a good shot from time to time, but it's always going to be fool's gold. You're not going to be able to sustain that over the long run. The other problem with swinging at the volley is that when you swing, your racket's going to be left off to the side. Like you're going to have a follow through and it's going to be over on the side of your body, which then sets you up for some problems afterwards. Like if you're playing good players, the ball's going to keep coming back and it's going to come back quickly. If you're caught with your racket over on the side of your body, you're not going to be able to have enough time to get that racket back up into the ready position for that next ball. So what we do is we keep the racket out in front through the whole process of hitting the ball, and that allows us to quickly recover for the next ball. Third, when I'm taking a step forward, when I'm making contact with the ball, I want to step with the correct foot. So for instance, if I'm a right-handed player, I want to step with my left foot. And if I'm a left-handed player, I want to take a step forward with my right foot. And it's just the opposite for the backhand volley. If I'm a right-handed player, I would step forward with my right foot. And if I'm a left-handed player, my backhand volley would require me to step forward with my left foot. What this will do is force you to keep your body turned as you're hitting that volley. If your body is too open, then it makes it much more difficult to execute this shot. You're not going to be moving forward the correct way, and then plus, it also makes it hard to angle that ball where you want it. By stepping with the correct foot, it sets you up for an easier shot. The last area, and this is one that I don't think always gets talked about a lot, is how hard we squeeze the grip. When we're making contact with the ball above the net, that's a shot that we can be a little more aggressive with. We can really go after it. And so what we want to do is squeeze that grip a little harder. This will allow us to pop that ball into the court a little easier. Now, if we're making contact with the ball below that net line, well, then it's the opposite. Okay, we're not going to pop the ball like we would if it's above the net. So we need to have soft hands. We're going to have a lighter grip on that racket. We want to be able to get the ball over the net without popping it up too high. So softer hands, a softer, lighter, grip on that racket is going to help with that. I hope these 4 tips were helpful today. Like I said, there's a lot that goes into this shot. It's a hard one to pull off, but these 4 areas are the ones that I think can make a huge difference in a short amount of time. I hope you have a great day. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.